What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. So last weekend, I was very fortunate to be able to go visit my friends Alex Huang and his girlfriend Renee in Arizona, check out some of their animals, do some awesome herping, and we filmed a video, some of their amazing reptiles. So stay tuned. They really have an incredible collection. Alrighty, so we're here at Panda'S Fauna, taking a look at some Panda'S Fauna. What we got here?
This is a pied Muserana.
Yeah, this is, one of the most unique species of colubrids, just appearance-wise. That pied coloration is just absolutely stunning, and then some of the reds that are coming in near the ventral. That kind of gets better as they get bigger, right?
Yeah, some of them will get a little bit more dull, but for the most part, like you'll see some dirty black in the white.
I feel like a lot of them don't have that kind of jagged appearance that this one does on the pied markings. That makes it look really, really cool.
Right.
At least ones that I've seen. Yeah, it's a gorgeous snake. So one of the things that I feel like you're definitely most known for are your Argentine Boas, and this is an absolutely gorgeous one right here. Is this one you produced?
Correct, yeah, this is one that I produced. This is from our last litter 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, definitely some great size on it, and some really cool pink coloration. It's not really coming through that great on the camera, but if you were here in person, you definitely see that. How big are your adults?
The female is probably 8 feet, and the male is nearing that, maybe 7.
Okay. Most people will know that Argentines are supposed to be one of the largest boa species. Do they need to get that big, or is that kind of like obese animals will hit that 10-foot range like what you sometimes hear?
I think it's more about maturity than anything.
Okay.
Just like with any snake, if you feed it and heat it up, they'll grow, and they have the ability to get larger. But I believe if you feed them a lot, they're not going to really last that long.
Yeah,
This girl's mom, the litter to this animal, she had 25 or 26, I believe, in one slug. And I attribute that just to not feeding her as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. These guys right here have to be one of the most beautiful naturally occurring Pituophis. Tell us about this snake right here, Alex.
This is a vertebralis, the Baja Gopher snake. This is a male. The female right now is currently gravid. They vary a lot in color and pretty much pattern, I guess, in general. They start off not as vibrant as babies, and then with adults, they kind of just pop off with color.
So this is obviously an adult, very small compared to a lot of other Pituophis.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think they have the ability to get a little larger, but for the most part, I feel like they're a smaller pit, especially for gopher snakes. The San Diegos and the Sonorans tend to be a lot larger than these guys.
Beautiful. So on the topic of beautiful Pituophis, maybe the best. Tell us about this guy right here.
This is a Kentucky pine snake. If anybody knows anything about pine snakes or pits in general, they know that the Kentucky is probably the coolest pit ever, arguably. These guys get fairly large, and they have a very small range, if not almost non-existent. And these guys are produced by Craig Trumbauer. I have an unrelated pair from them, so just super grateful to have these guys.
Yeah, they're a 7-8 foot Kentucky pine is arguably the most impressive snake from the United States, which is crazy considering that we have Eastern Indigos, but I think these guys could definitely give Eastern Indigos a run for their money.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're way cooler.
All right, so this is a really special snake right here. Tell us about this girl.
So this is my melanistic female Barron's racer. When I produced this animal, she was fairly normal. I just kind of kept her back because I needed another female. And with age, her coloration started to become a lot more black, similar to an IMG boa. Her belly is completely black too.
So there was no indication that the snake was going to do this?
No, not at all. I'll show you guys the sisters to them in a little bit, but for the most part, she looked like a normal snake. And then maybe after 6 months or so, she started to darken up, and I was actually kind of pissed. I'm like, man, this thing looks ugly. And then the green just started to really kind of cloud over, and then her black stripe kind of faded into her dorsal pattern, and then that's when her belly started to turn black, and I was kind of shocked.
That's so cool.
And then so this is the only, I guess, green part of her.
Yeah. Wow.
But one of her sisters that I sold to a guy named Skylar, she started to turn black as well. And then one of the other females that is related to her is a little black, but not as much. So she's, I guess, by far the most exaggerated in terms of color.
That's so cool.
All right, so this is a female that was from the same clutch as that melanistic that we just showed. Obviously, you could tell this female is showing absolutely zero melanin. Even her belly is very bright green. This is essentially how that melanistic female looked for the first, I don't know, 6 months or so. And then she started to change pretty drastically. But yeah, that you can just kind of see the extreme difference between the two. So here's just another variation of a Barons. This is a powder blue female, or what I call a powder blue female. Really cool looking snake. Not showing any melanistic traits, but still a really cool animal with a lot of sweet potential.
So what's like the genetic makeup of all the different color phases within Barons racers?
To be honest, I feel like none of us really know. And I feel like the Barons for the blues, there's a couple of different types.
Okay.
Because some people can put blue to green and not have anything other than greens. And some people can put blue to green and have 25% blues. It kind of really just varies. I've heard so many different, I guess variables in terms of pairings. So people are, I guess, kind of just now figuring that out.
Okay, very cool. Alrighty, so what we got here?
This is a male San Esteban Spinytailed Iguana, otherwise known as Tenosaura conspicuosa. One of my favorite Stenosaura for sure. This guy's pretty dark and pissed off right now, but when they fire up, they are paper white.
Oh wow.
They look incredible.
Does the black pigment lighten up too, or does it get really high contrast?
It pretty much gets pretty high contrast.
Wow, that's so cool.
They're really cool animals. And this is pretty much an adult, just like the Polaris. He'll probably get a half a foot larger, and then they'll max out and get a little chunkier.
What we got here?
This is a Grania depressa, otherwise known as the Pygmy spiny-tailed skink. These guys are pretty cool. All the Grania are pretty cool. Pretty naturally secretive animals, so they don't really make good displays for somebody who wants something that they can hold. But other than that, I mean, evolutionary just looks at this animal are insane.
Yeah, definitely one of the more unique lizard genuses. They're just, the way that their bodies are shaped, their colors and patterns, they're so cool. Beautiful, beautiful lizard.
This is an Australian pink-tongued skink, a really cool, uncommon species of skink. Similar to a blue tongue, I guess. They just like a little bit more humidity. Babies tend to be a little bit more picky with what they like to eat. But for the most part, a smaller, prehensile blue tongue.
They're semi-arboreal, correct?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah, so similar in appearance, but as far as lifestyle goes, very different than a blue-tongued skink. Right. It's so cool. Yeah, it's cool to see that like kind of smaller version of a more common species, but then obviously that tail difference is really, really stark between a blue tongue and a pink tongue. It's such an interesting species.
All right, so here we have everybody's favorite snake, the Corallus batesi, otherwise known as the Amazon basin emerald treeboa. This guy is very, very cool. I only have one.
Really cool darker green coloration as well, especially on the head. I really like that a lot. Yeah, something about that species, man. I miss keeping basins, and hopefully I can do it again one day because they are really, really incredible snakes. And those little tiny micro scales on the head, one of the distinguishing factors between them and the northerns. Such a cool attribute of these snakes. This thing can focus. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Thank you for checking out that video. Hopefully you like those animals as much as I did. If you want to keep up with what they're doing, you can follow Alex and Renee both on Instagram. All of their links will be down in the description below. Renee is also an artist. Her art Instagram is Basque and Coil. It will also be down in the description below. She really makes some incredible artwork. For me, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, I'm on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook. I have a podcast every Wednesday night on the Trap Talk Reptile Network called Cush's Corner. I'm also on Morph Market under Cush Reptile. And of course, I'm here on YouTube every single Friday. So subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that good stuff. And I'll catch you back here next week for a new video.